Hey everyone and welcome, it's Alex from Trummer Digital. Just wanted to talk in this video about how to run ads for a medical practice, a medical clinic. And here on the screen are some results that we have been able to get for another office. They were able to get leads for as low as $3 a piece on average, which is extremely high flow. Typically, guys, you're going to see average cost per leads of anywhere from $15 to $20 or more if the agency just isn't really that good at getting leads. But guys, we were able to get them all the way down for $3 a lead. I mean, leads and inquiries are just flowing in. We have over 1,000 leads in just this one segment here. And here's another example, guys, of us running ads for another office in another medical vertical. And they were able to also get a pretty good lead flow at $16 a lead here, and we're going to be getting that down over time as well. So definitely great results here. So if you were interested in advertising with us, feel free to click the link in the description. Or if you are interested in learning from me in a coaching mentorship fashion, if you are another agency, feel free to click the agency link in the description. And I'd be looking forward to speaking with you guys. Without further ado, let's get into how to set up and run Facebook ads for your medical practice. So I'm going to open up this account here and we're going to go to campaigns, create, leads, and continue. And we're going to leave the buying type as auction. Now, guys, the way I set these up is for the campaign, I just have one campaign. You can call it the office name. So I'll just call it demo office. The buying type is auction. The objective is leads. And I actually do an ad set budget, because the reason I'm selecting this is so that I can actually manually allocate the amount of budget that I want to my various ad sets. If I select campaign budget, what Facebook will do is it will dynamically allocate budget across the ad set. So one might get favored and get a lot more of that budget. One might get much less. And I actually want to give it a manually equal fair shake to each of the ad sets that I'm running. And in this case, the ad sets correspond to a different treatment or angle or segment of our patient population that we want to target. So for example, in dental, if we want to target the treatment for implants, and missing teeth, and then we also have an ad set for Invisalign, and then also have an ad set for emergency appointments, and we also have an ad set for general new patients, that want to come in for a cleaning and checkup type of thing, right? So these are all different treatments and angles that we're targeting, and each will be its own ad set. And so I might want to go ahead and only, put $300 to each ad set. And now they get an equal shake and we get to see which treatments and angles and offers are working the best in that situation. Because if we selected campaign budget, then maybe the implants ad set gets all the spend and we don't even get to really see how the other ones did quite as well. So it's just a way to manually split test. And another way to manually split test is this A/B option, but we will leave that. And so really all we're selecting here is ad set budget for the campaign level. Now, let's just say treatment 1 for the ad set name. So again, guys, each ad set's going to correspond to a different treatment that we're targeting, and we will select instant forms, okay? And then when you connect your Facebook page, you have to be a authorized user on the page. And so once you are, it'll pop up here and you can view and agree to the terms of service. And once that's good, you should be good to advertise with that page. And then for the performance goal, we do maximize leads. Maximize number of conversion leads will be when you're getting a high volume campaign, if you're getting literally hundreds of leads a month. And now you're able to send data back to Facebook regarding which leads are actually higher value, which leads are actually converting in your CRM. And from there, it's able to optimize towards higher conversion leads. So if you send data back to Facebook that, this lead made it all the way to the showed appointment stage or the paid in full stage or something like that, right? Now you can send that data back to Facebook and it knows that there are certain leads that are actually showing and paying in full, et cetera. And now it can optimize towards those leads potentially. But for most of the time, guys, we're going to do max leads, and then we're going to scroll down to dynamic creative and we're going to turn that on. What dynamic creative allows us to do is to create a basket of creatives. So now instead of just running one ad with one picture, we can put 8 different pictures or different creative assets in there, and it'll dynamically rotate through them, show certain creatives to people that I think are more likely to respond and convert, and show the creatives that are just generally doing better as well dynamically for us without us having to A/B split test a bunch of things and test a bunch of things. We can literally just put our test in there and it will dynamically do all of that for us, which is awesome. And it's great for the longevity of your campaign, guys, because if you just have 1 or 2 ads, very quickly everyone's going to see that ad and it's going to get old. But if you have 10 different ads rotating around, now, it's not getting old because they're seeing different things, right? And so when we go to budget, guys, typically we do a lifetime budget. The sole reason for this is that lifetime budget allows us to schedule our ads during the day. And we want to schedule our ads during business hours when your team and when your office is actually in the office and can actually answer the calls. Because what we found is that if you don't have a good speed to lead or a response time, where if someone calls you and you're able to pick up, if you're not able to pick up and you get back to them, say the next day or 2 days later, there's a really high chance that unfortunately you won't be able to convert that lead. So we always want to make sure that we're advertising when there's a chance that we can have a good speed to lead. And so say we do a lifetime budget and we want it to end 30 days later. Our monthly budget for this client is say $1,000 US. So our lifetime budget is going to be $1,000 for the next 30 days ending on the 16th. And our ad scheduling, set a schedule for ads, is going to be from 9 to 5, Monday through Friday, which is when the office is actually there and can answer the phones, it can respond to leads. And so this option wouldn't even have been possible to enable if we didn't select this. So it becomes available once we select lifetime budget. So now we have our monthly budget in there, the end date and our schedule. So we're good there. Our location, we're going to want to target typically a 10 to 12 mile radius around the actual office location. So if we do the White House, for example, we can then go and add a 10-mile radius here. And as you can see, this is the radius that it's given us. If we zoom in, we can see that it gets most of the DC area. And as you can see, guys, here's our estimated audience size, 1 million. That's more than enough. Typically, I would aim to be at least around 500,000. If you are less than that, maybe if it's a smaller market, smaller area, that's fine. You do what you can get. But otherwise, guys, it's nice to get a nice big net. So at least 500K. And so now we have our location. Great. You can also actually exclude certain zip codes and you can drop a pin. If I want to also target people in Fairfax, for example, right? Now I have this one. And I can make this like a 5-mile radius over here. 7 miles works as well. So there, you can drop pins, et cetera, et cetera. So here, Facebook is saying we'll reach people beyond these settings when it's likely to improve performance. Now, if you wanted to, quote, further limit the reach of your ads, I click that. And then what I can do is set certain parameters, like the minimum age is 25. And then again, it's giving us the option of also reaching people beyond this age range when it's likely to improve performance. And we can unselect this if, say, we wanted to be really rigid and like we do not want anyone under this age, right? But a lot of times, guys, it's okay to give Facebook a little bit of flexibility because, again, that just allows them to widen your net in general over the long term. Guys, as far as the interest targeting, you typically don't have to do much interest targeting these days. Just leave it broad. Do some basic demographic targeting if need be, like if you're only targeting people above the age of like 40 or something, sure, like go ahead, or only females or something, sure. And then languages, sometimes you can put English if unfortunately you aren't able to really serve like people that speak foreign languages. Placements, we leave this as Advantage Plus. So we allow Facebook to rotate through that. And then that's about it, guys. So now we have our basic demographic targeting, our location, and our time frame. Next, let's do treatment 1 ad. Okay. And our page is connected, guys. I typically uncheck multi-advertiser ads because what this setting does is puts your ad in a carousel with other medical practice options. So now you're like one of 5 options in this carousel. I just want to be shown as my own ad. So that's just personal preference, so I uncheck that. And guys, when you click the Select Images button, this is where you can upload your ad creatives in that dynamic creative basket, and they will all appear here in a list. And then, guys, we have primary text, headline, description, display link. So primary text, the format I typically use is hook, body / benefits, and call to action. And so what this might look like is, are you due for your annual checkup? Dr. Smith's office in Washington, D.C. is a top-rated practice that helps you achieve optimal health. And then, typically like a nice benefits list of why the offer is, something worth. So easy, no hassle scheduling, quick availability, take control of your health, live your best quality life. Tap this post to learn more and get in touch today. So that's typically a format you could do, guys. And then this hook, this first line is typically the most important part of your copy. So one way you might split test this is copy that, add a text option, and you can add up to, say, 5 options. And what I would do is just test a different hook. So top rated medical practice in DC. And then let's put an emoji for extra eye-catchingness with a star. So now we have that. Let's add another one. And then we'll change the hook again to book your complimentary doctor's checkup today. Right? Some type of offer, whatever offer you guys happen to be running at the time. Something enticing, something attention grabbing, eye-catching, etc. Something that's typically quick and right to the point, what I call passing the glance test. You want people to get the gist of whatever it is you're talking about right away, right? If you're too, roundabout, beating around the bush with your hook and with your ad in general, people won't know immediately what it's really about and they'll just keep scrolling, right? The goal is to grab their attention, stop the scroll, be enticing enough and interesting enough to get them to continue to want to learn more. So with that being said, the headline, again, it's typically like passing the glance test, giving the main idea of the ad in one phrase. So book your complimentary doctor's checkup today, top-rated medical practice in DC, get a free blood test with your checkup today. Yeah, some type of enticing offer or the main gist of your ad. Maybe it's just Washington, D.C. Practice Associates, and then the stethoscope, book your checkup today. And then you can apply AI-generated headlines as well. In this case, we're not going to, but you can if they are good for your purposes. Otherwise, for the description, guys, 5 out of 5 star rated, office, something like that. Another option might be something like Washington, D.C. medical practice. And then we can maybe split the pin icon here and we can put the star here, 5 out of 5 star rated office. Display link, that's okay. Call to action, I typically do book now and learn more, okay? And now, guys, for the forms, we do instant forms because instant forms are typically lower friction and you are still able to filter people out with conditional logic and get some qualifying information there. So that's great. We'll just call this form 1. I typically do more volume, guys. And then we do flexible form delivery, which is kind of like Meta just rotates the question. So maybe it asks question 2 before 1, etc. Sometimes it smooths out the process and reduces friction for you. So you might say something like annual checkup at Washington, D.C. Practice Associates. And then the paragraph might be, or the list might be something like the benefits list that we talked about before. So take control of your health, get a complimentary blood test, top rated medical practice in DC, fill out this form to learn more, right? So that's what you might have for the intro. Click next. Then for questions, typically, guys, unless you're doing email marketing, you can get the email. Otherwise, you can just take it out if you're not really going to be doing anything with the email. Typically, when you're doing a kind of higher volume new leads campaign that revolve around calling and texting the leads, phone number is typically a better way to get in touch with leads. So we just get the phone number and we call and text it right away to try to see if they're interested in actually coming in for an appointment, as opposed to putting them on a list and sending emails to an inbox that they haven't checked in 7 years. You know what I mean? So for this, guys, we'll just put, please ensure the information below is correct. We will be attempting to contact you from 222-323-4444. Sure. Okay, there we go. And then for the questions, guys, you can do conditional logic, which essentially filters people out if they don't meet certain conditions. And so maybe for this one, it would be something along the lines of, I understand that this appointment may require a financial investment and that no-shows will not be tolerated. No call, no shows. Yes, no. So essentially this question aims to filter people out if they don't think that they're willing to pay anything and they want to get something free and cheap, etc. And also that they understand that they really shouldn't no call, no show. And then our next question might be something along the lines of, please select a response that corresponds most closely to your medical concern/interest. General checkup, pain, other issue, appointment for someone else, medication. I don't want an appointment. And so, guys, if they answer correctly for this first question, they go to the next one. So go to question 2. If they answer incorrectly saying, I understand this appointment may require financial investment, no, then we will close the form and opt them out. Okay. And then for question 2, once they get here, we can submit the form because this is our last question in this case. Typically, guys, I do about 1 to 3 questions, maybe even 4 if you need a certain amount of qualifying pieces of information before you're willing to accept someone as a lead. But typically 1 to 3 questions is a nice sweet spot to get a lot of volume. And then on the phone, guys, when you are calling and texting the leads, you can kind of get the qualifiers from there, because in medical, there's a lot of moving parts and a lot of different qualifiers. So a lot of times, guys, we find it best to just get as many people in, and then we can do all of our qualification on the phone when we're actually talking to people and potentially booking appointments. And so we'll select end page for leads here, and then you can actually click this button to apply the logic to all answers below, except for this one. I don't want an appointment. We don't want that lead. So we will change that one. And now, guys, our questions are good to go with conditional logic selected. We will go to next. And then we typically, guys, put a privacy policy in here, example.com, the link text, that's okay. Custom notices, that's okay. We go to next. And now, guys, we have our leads page and our ends leads page. So for the leads page, we go actually wait last step, because the last step we want them to take, guys, is to call our office directly. So with this campaign, we'll be getting a mix of inbound form fills and inbound calls. So if someone submits this form, they've just submitted it. Now we get that notification, but also they see this page, and now they might go ahead and just say, okay, I'll just call them right now and get in touch right now instead of waiting for them to get back. And so we found about 40 to 50% of people will also go ahead and call the office as well. And that's great. So please tap the button below to get in touch with our team now. And then it'll say call business. We'll put our phone number in there, 222-333-4444. Call to action, call Washington Medical Associates. Okay. And then as you can see, guys, here's our call button. So they might go ahead and say, wait, last step, please tap the button below, and they'll go ahead and call you. And then, guys, for non-leads, if we opt them out, it'll just say, thank you for your interest. Based on your interest, this might not be the best fit for you. And then you can send them to, say, your website. Okay. And guys, that's about it. We would go ahead and create form. We would leave this unchecked, and then we would create the form. In this case, I'm going to save it as a draft, guys. And guys, once we have this form, we're going to want to integrate it with our CRM or customer relationship management software. In our case, guys, we use HighLevel. And so you would get the leads sent into HighLevel and manage them from there, calling, texting, organizing them in the pipeline. And that is about it, guys. One other thing is that in some of my other videos on the channel, we go into how to create some actual image creatives for your ad. And so I'm not going to be able to do that in today's video, but moral of the story, guys, get about 5 to 10 creatives and drop them into here. The more the better to test. However, I would say in that middle range of 5 to 10, if you start maxing it out all the way to 10, you might split the budget too thinly across all of your options. So I would say 5 to 8 is a nice sweet spot. And so that gives you a nice, good, broad test without spreading the budget too thin. And so you would drop the images in there. If you do have videos, if the practice has videos, like professional photography and videography of the office, of the staff, and of the doctors, that's great to add those in there as well. But we have some videos on how to create image creatives for your clients and for your practices. So guys, that's the treatment 1 ad set. What we would do from here is you can actually quickly duplicate. And now we have treatment 2. So if that one was for a checkup, this one might be for an emergency visit, just for example, guys. So treatment 1 might be checkup, right? And treatment 2 might be emergency visit. And guys, all of this stuff is the same. So for example, though, if our lifetime budget across the entire campaign is $1,000, we will have to go ahead and manually split this up. So now we just have $500 a piece if we're splitting it evenly. Maybe we want to allocate slightly more budget to the emergency visit. So we might do 600, 400, but in this case, we'll split it evenly 500, 500. And the targeting is all the same, but for the ad, it would be treatment 2, which is emergency. And we would go ahead and change this copy and even the form, guys. We might go ahead and duplicate, and instead of annual checkup, now it's emergency, etc. But from there, guys, you guys get the point. And that is the basic campaign setup for medical practices, guys. I hope that's been helpful. And again, if you did want me to run your ads and do all this for you, feel free to click the link in the description. I'd be really looking forward to working with you and helping your practice grow. And if you're an agency looking to do what you do better and kind of learn from me in a coaching and mentorship program over my many years of running an agency, then definitely feel free to click that link in the description. And I'd really be looking forward to helping you get better results and grow your agency. So with that being said, guys, I'll see you in the next video. Take care.